All right, welcome everybody to tonight's Zoom presentation. The first time in quite some time that everybody's heard my voice. It sounds better. I've been a bit sick, and then I had to get some preparation done in my mouth, which it turned out to be quite a problem. Um, I went to the dentist, and they did an operation, and it ended up with complications, which put me out of action for about a week. So I do apologize for that. But we're making tonight is Mr. Paul Yoon's first presentation, so he's going to do the presentation, and so you can see him on the screen there. Welcome, Paul. Thank you for joining. Thank you for accepting the responsibility. It is a big one to do the presentations on a weekly basis because this is showing growth. There is a constant flow of people that are joining the business. There every single literal minute there's people buying shares now, whether it's one share or 10 shares or 100 shares, it is happening on a constant basis. So we on that stage now. Myself, Donovan. Well, Donovan at the moment he's in East London. Yesterday he was doing the Miss Teen Universe Eastern Cape uh pageant opening or
Ve-
whatever. Uh,
Vehicle
yeah,
handover. Vehicle handover.
the car handover. Yeah, the car handover. So he's sponsoring one of his BMWs that he sponsors to them. We branded it. Of course, it's got Aureus over it. And why are we doing this? Because Aureus is a startup company. It is a new company. It's a holding company. Okay. And we want to do as much promotion out there. We want to have Aureus's names wherever we can, right? We are actually busy speaking to another person that also wants us to sponsor them, which is a very lucrative sponsorship. Not going to mention any names or anything about it tonight. We'll see whether or not it pans out first. Okay. But one of the reasons why Paul is jumping on board is number one, he has done many presentations for me in the past in Sun. So I know I can trust him. I know that when I tell him, listen, these Zooms need to be done on a weekly basis, he's not going to let me down there. And of course, I will also be there. But for the next 10 days, 15 days, yeah, about 15 days, I'm not going to be available. All right. We are going to do a live Zoom in Goa. We're going to do a live Zoom in Mumbai. But those are going to be, well, the Mumbai, we're really going to do a live one. We're actually going to show the event and everything that we're doing in Mumbai. So that's possibly going to be the entire one. But the one in Goa, the one that we're going to do around India, that's going to be short clips, the same as what I did when I went through to Zim in December. Okay. Um, but what are we doing? We are pronouncing Aureus to the world. Okay. And we've been invited to a very exclusive event, which is the India Energy Week, where there's over 5,000 delegates. It's kind of stressful, but exciting. Aureus is literally going global, and that's what we want. We want everybody in the next 20 years to have Aureus on their lips. That's the whole point. Okay. So I'm gonna hand it over to Paul, who's gonna start with the presentation. I am going to help wherever is needed. This is Paul's first presentation he's doing. But before we start, let me just quickly see here. Um, Desiree from Congo is just saying thank you very much. Include a French translation. The French Zoom meetings is done by Daniel. He is in the groups. I don't know if he's here tonight. But this is the English one. This is the international English one. But it will also be broadcasted onto YouTube, and there you will be able to translate it as well. Right. So everybody is muted. Just quickly.
JP, can you just check if I can share before I try?
Yeah, you should be able to share.
Okay,
No,
thank.
wait. I'll pull you over to host. Just give me a section.
Okay, okay.
There's they've changed things. I don't know
Fair
why.
enough.
Host. This new setup that they've made now for uh
I'll put the spotlight on so long.
okay, thank you, Werner. Okay, captions, apps, you can start collaboration with that. Okay, that needs to be done there. Werner, they changed the entire uh Zoom thing now on my screen. I don't know why it's like this. Who can share the host only?
Yeah, no, I see that. Can you maybe make him host?
Yeah, I'm going to. Just want to check out all these other stuff. Otherwise, people create all
Evening,
kinds of
Werner.
nonsense.
Hi back. Hi back.
Hi, Werner.
How's it, Paul? How are you, buddy?
All right, and you, man.
You good?
How's our common friend, Cressida doing?
Good. She's online. She's saying,
That's good to hear. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Okay, I think we're ready.
All right, can I
Right,
share? Let's try this, Jay.
rolling. Go, 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 Paul. All
Let's
up to you.
let's try this. I'm also gonna
Wait,
try and find
I
the.
need to make you host.
Okay, wait. Will it not share yet?
Not well. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try and share. Just let me know if you see it.
yes,
Yep.
you can see it.
Okay. On
Yes,
my
I can
side.
see it.
Okay, on my side, I'm not seeing too much. I'm only seeing the screen that I'm thinking I'm using to. I just want to see if I can move. Okay, I can move it there. It's fine. And I can move this stuff on here. Okay. That's I just had to find out how it's going to work, JP, because like you said, this is my first time.
Yeah, yeah, that's your first one. Okay, just make your go to menu and make it full screen.
Uh okay, just
Menu.
hang on. Just hang on. Just hang on. I think I know how to do it. Is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. There was a shortcut that I did learn while I was trying to set everything up. So there we go.
Well, you got
Sorry,
it. I don't even know about it.
not to not listen to you. I taught myself a small trick before the time
Yeah,
because
okay, awesome, dude. I don't know
I
about it, so
wasn't
go for
sure
it.
if I was going to see things on the screen and I didn't want to fiddle with that. So I just had to learn quickly a quick shortcut on the keyboard. Okay. So folks, yes, as JP said, welcome to all of you. This is my first time and I won't say I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. The only thing that makes me slightly a little bit skeptical on whether I can or can't do this is just the lack of knowledge. But you know what? One thing I've learned over the years is if you want to be able to present something, the only way to learn how to do it is by carry on and doing it and doing it and doing it.
Correct.
So, at the end of the day, we all have the ability now to be shareholders in a company that is going to change lives. And that is exactly what we're going to speak about tonight. So I may not be as fluent as JP in what he knows about the company, but I'm going to do my best. And if there are any hiccups or anything, as JP said, he'll jump in and assist me. There will be one or two parts where I might just ask JP to explain things because I don't know fully what's going on there yet.
100%.
Hopefully we can get it going. All right. So good evening, everyone. Tonight, I want to introduce you to Aureus Alliance Holdings, a gold-backed venture built on something very simple: real assets, real ownership, and real impact. This is not just a promise. It's a promise based, it's not just a promise based opportunity. This is about gold production and long term value. Now, I know a lot of you, like myself, have probably jumped in on a lot of crypto things, a lot of scam things that have come around, these hype things that go around, investment type opportunities. This is definitely none of those. So please go and tick off. This is none of those. So actually, if you are here tonight, I just want you to virtually give a fist pump to the friend that invited you. And I want you to stay until the end because you are going to get, well, a gold nugget. Excuse the pun. All right, so let's carry on. Let me just make sure my slides are moving along here. There we go. And whoopsie, just want to get down to my next point to discuss. All right, so we are talking now about real gold, real shares, and real ownership as I introduced you in the first slide. So as I said, Aureus offers real equity ownership through CIPC registered shares with a par value of $1,000. For right now, they're not at that value because we're still selling out all 19 phases. But eventually, when those 19 phases are sold out, they will be at that value and you can sell them for that or even more, depending on how you want to sell. But JP will explain that a little bit better later on in Zoom meetings just to confirm that because I'm still learning this as well myself. But I do know that according to the CIPC registration, the shares are set at $1,000 minimum. So we can't go lower than that eventually. So when someone
Correct.
buys shares, was I correct there, JP? Just confirm.
Correct.
All right, there we go. I thought I understood it a little bit there. All right, when someone buys shares, they legally own part of a structured mining venture. Man, I tell you, I grew up in Kimberley with De Beers mines, and it was the tallest building in Kimberley. If you know Kimberley, it's very flat. So when you see the only tall building in Kimberley, you must have thought that must be a family with money. I can tell you now, if someone gave me the opportunity to be part of De Beers years ago, I wouldn't have been sitting here with you guys in this meeting. So that's why I got a second chance. And right now, I'm not going to bump my head the second time. When I was offered and when I was told to join, I joined. And yes, this is, I hope, the mindset that all of you see in the vision of this, that it's a chance for you to build a legacy. Because as JP has said in previous meetings, there are mines in Zimbabwe that have already been mining for over 100 years. So if you think right now, I don't think any of us sitting here right now are going to live more than 100 years. So right now you're joining, we're only starting now. You've got more than 100 years worth of earnings that are going to come to you. And you're going to see later when we sort of get to the dividends, more or less, how it's going to work out. But let's just move on from there. All right. So it creates transparent gold-backed economy built on trust and not speculation because we're working it out more or less on the gold price for now, and we know more or less how much we're going to be mining as well because we're working on the mining plants. Yes, JP?
Now carry on.
Oh, sorry, I thought you put your hand up for something there. We're working out on the production of what the plants potentially can do for us, and also we know how many hours we're going to be mining. So we're more or less doing the projections on that. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. All right. So we're doing sustainable mining, and it starts in, well, it's basically, JP, just to confirm there, it hasn't started yet. They were still trying to get the
No.
bulldozers onto the sites, right?
Yeah. Okay. So as everybody knows, currently it is raining. It's raining all over the world. Okay.
Okay.
And especially in Africa. And are we worried about it? No. We believe this is a big blessing. The reason being is, as Paul is going to explain now, we're using wash plant technology. We don't do open pits, right? We use wash plant technology, and the point there is wash. We need water to be able to wash. Otherwise, we're doing dry plants, and dry plants is another story. You can't get the amount of alluvial through the machine when it is a dry plant. Wash plant uses water. So the more water we have, the better. The more topsoil water we have, the even better. So which means that all the dams, the rivers, everything is flowing. It's completely flooding in Africa at the moment. And I actually believe that by the time that we're going to be back in India, from India, and we land in South Africa, there's a high possibility that the rains are going to be stopped, and we'll actually be able to go back to Zim and go see, what is the next step. That is myself and Donovan's plan. Over to you.
All right. No, thank you, JP, just for that clarification. So I hope that will stop the questions coming in later when people ask, have we started or have we not started? That is the reason behind it. It's just raining currently at the moment, and we are slightly on a delay, but I do believe there's other developments that might just jump us ahead when those developments do unfold. All right, so as JP said, there are we are earmarking two eco-friendly gold wash plants. As JP said, it's eco-friendly. We're not using chemicals or drilling into the ground or using anything that's going to damage the eco friendliness of the area. They're powered by renewable energy with full land rehabilitation built into the process, and all gold production is transparent, and it will be shared to our shareholders via the dashboard that's on your back office. You will see basically whatever they do mine and whatever comes out when it is audited, as JP alluded to in a previous meeting. It will then be told to us what we've earned or what has been mined, and we'll be able to see what we are earning from that. All right, so the next slide. So we say share your future, or share, your future, your NFT. So shareholders earn quarterly dividends from profits once mining operations begin in January 2026. Like we said, a slight delay, so maybe February 2026. But our first dividend for this year will be in April 2026, then in July, then in October, and then next year, 2027, it will start in January again. So we get 4 times a year, generally January, April, July, and October. All
I
right.
just want
We
to,
have
yeah, Paul,
yeah.
I just want to, sorry, I'm interrupting you there. All
No,
right.
no, no,
So
it's
for
fine.
everybody that purchases shares, all right, from the 6th of January upwards to, they will be getting dividends in July. They're not getting dividends in April. Everybody that purchased shares before January the 6th, they're getting dividends in April. Your dividends, your shares has to work for 5 months, all right, give or take, before they can actually earn dividends. Right, over to you.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I might have just forgot that point. Thank you for bringing it in there, JP. My apologies, guys. Yes, there's a few little extras here that I didn't quite figure out before tonight's presentation. All right, so yeah, so the shares become tradable once all, like I said, once all shares are sold, then we can sell those shares at a minimum price of $1,000. But hopefully that is no later than July 2027. That is, as that is how we've worked it out. If we sell and we're changing our price of our 19 phases every month at the 6th of that month. Right. Each share is
Correct.
also represented. Sorry.
Correct.
Each share Each share is also represented by a digital certificate giving you traceable ownership. So you do get a share certificate that you can also ask for on your back office of the site. And I know you can download it as a PDF. So basically, you literally can show people that you are an owner, you have shares in this company. It's not a fly by night. It's not, like I said, one of these scams or anything like that. I mean, it's got the CIPC logo on there. So, I mean, how many of you can say you own a piece of a company that is registered? I mean, hello, no brainer. Buy, 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 buy. I wish there was a little thing that could pop up here while you guys are buying while I'm talking. I just love, I mean, I don't, you know what? I talk one language. It's not even English. It's not even Chinese. It's not even Spanish. It's not even Xhosa. It's called success. And, I hate negativity. So if anyone is feeling right now that you're in a space, come on, man. We're here tonight for a reason. As I said, give that fist pump to your friend for inviting you, because you are hearing something tonight that could change your life. So let's move on. All right. All right. So backed by gold, paid in dividends, as we said. We currently control a 250 hectare greenfield site in Kadoma. we will get to pictures later in the presentation, but I can tell you now from other pictures that were shared, I think Donovan and JP have really hit a gold mine, spot the pun. Because I mean, if you really look at that area, it just totally already looks like something is going to happen. So if you haven't jumped on the bus, you're gonna miss this trip. And I'm telling you, you want to be on this trip. So with a minimum estimation of 260 kilograms of placer gold on the top 80 centimeters of gold, by mid 2027, our output is projected at 3.5 tons annually. At a conservative gold price of 130 per kilogram, the estimated dividends are around 178 per share per year. That is based on,
Paul,
yes.
no, sorry, just correction there. It's not 260, it's 2,160. That's 2.1 tons of gold. That's over $300 million worth of gold. That is literally lying there waiting to be taken out. So anybody that is wondering whether or not there is gold, there is gold, right? There is alluvial gold. It's called placer gold that is available for us to take, which we are going to be doing. And it's going to take us about 5 years to take out the entire 2.1 ton. And we might even get a lot more than that.
So it's
And it's
2.1.
at 2.1 tons. Yeah, 2.1
2.1
tons.
tons. Okay, no problem. Maybe I just read it wrong. Sorry, my apologies there. Sorry, everyone. But what I can also tell you is that was at the time that this PDF or this presentation was calculated. I just checked on the price right now. And I don't want to float my boat or float the company's boat right now, but you don't want to know what we're sitting on right now. I think they say today the price got to its highest ever. Right
Yeah,
now, it's sitting on
$155,000. So
Harry Oppenheimer.
in December, I said it would be really awesome if gold's value is sitting at $150,000 by April when we do our first dividend. I got a feeling we're gonna sit at about 200,000. Let's see if I'm right by April.
It's on an upward trajectory on a daily
Yeah.
basis. It's currently going up. It comes down a little bit, but then it goes up. It comes down a little bit, but it goes up. So someone definitely is onto something. And people all over the world are figuring out that there's something happening with gold. So you know what? As they say, sometimes things happen for the right time. I think this is one of those cases where you're jumping on a company that's starting, but it's with the right thing at the right time. While gold is going up, you're starting in a company that's backed by gold. Second no-brainer for me. Sorry, guys. I just thought I'd mention that. So, yeah, I can't do the calculations like JP normally does when he gets to this point of the exercise. But you can basically just figure out, just on our exercise or our presentation where it says 130,000 per kilogram, and it's currently at 155, 672.47. You can see there's a huge difference already. So for your own sort of, if you try and work it out for yourself, you must know that 178 per share is a lot higher than what we put in the presentation. So on Friday, I'll try and have a better way to figure it out and work it out for you guys. But tonight, I'm not going to try and play around too much on the screen. I'll try and figure out, because JP has multiple screens. I don't have that function. So I can only see one screen and my presentation on the other. So I do apologize. I don't have those multiple 6-screen setups like JP probably has. So I struggle on that. All right, so yeah, we've been Aureus plans to control 6,000 hectares. Obviously expanding from what we have now to other parts of Africa, potentially into South Africa as well, if we can find a place. But then once we do this, we just heard now that just on our one site we're planning 2.1 tons. But if we can then go to expand to 6,000 hectares, we potentially can do 100 tons annually. Now, that is already like 98 tons more. So, I mean, you think now, if you think 178 per share on that conservative figure of 130,000 per kilogram, which we know is obviously higher than that right now. Just imagine if we are and I'm not saying if we are, I'm going to say when we get
When,
to this number,
yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, we're going to be seeing each other in Dubai on yachts, and we're just going to be sitting there sipping on lekker goed. That's all I'm going to say, lekker goed. Anyway, guys, like I said, there's your third no-brainer. I'm telling you now, if you can be part of a company that's going to be doing so much, and this is just gold. There's other
Yeah,
minerals that
there's
potentially
other
can come
minerals
out
as
of that
well.
gold.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
if
Paul, I said today, I was at the shop today, and a car guard came to me. Okay. And he's like, "Can I buy a share?" I looked at him and was like, "Anybody can buy a share." He's like, "But that's not normal." I'm like, exactly. That's exactly what makes Aureus different. You know, we are connecting with the local public, with the public that usually are not able to buy shares. And here's a little secret about it is when you purchase shares on stock exchanges, the VCs that bought the shares in the beginning that are selling the shares to you at a fraction, yeah, they already made their millions out of the shares. That's why they're selling it. Okay. You are getting that opportunity. So Aureus is in its growth time. This is our growth year. And we've said this, all of our calculations is based on what comes out of the ground. What we are going to be taking out of the ground, what we're going to put through the plants, what we're going to be selling, and that profits, that is what's divided between the shareholders. So it can be 300 kilograms by April. It could be 1,000 kilograms by April. It could be 100 kilograms by April, right? We don't know. But what we can tell you is that our target for 2026 is 1.2 tons for the year. Okay, that gives a dividend of a minimum of $60 for every single share. Now, if you are used to like what Paul says to other systems, then it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's not once off. There is no monthly fees. There is no yearly fees. There is no renewal fees. You buy the share, you hold the share, and as long as you're the shareholder, you are getting dividends. What did you say, Paul? 100 years, for 100 years or more. This is generational income for you and your kids and their kids. Because Aureus is going to keep on growing. Myself and Donovan and Neil and Sachi and the whole chiefs, if we can put it like that, we are busy building this business. But our kids are going to take it over, and their kids are going to take this over. We're talking about a generational company here. So it's something that everybody that has the opportunity that is seeing this tonight, you'll never get this ever in your life again. And this isn't us blowing up smoke either. We are a proof of work company, which, as Paul will explain, or in the next slide. Go for it, Paul.
All right. So before I jump to the next slide, I just want to confirm or just reiterate. The obvious plan is to have 20 new wash plants that will launch each year, scaling to 100 tons annually, as we said. So there is a plan in place. And that's also why I think it's been worked out that we sell out in phases just to allow the cash flow for the business to
Yeah,
be able to allow for this.
exactly. So we're
So
selling we're selling at the beginning at a low value, right? The shares are valued at $1,000 each, okay, by CIPC. But we're selling the shares on the site at a low value, right? And a lot of people are not going to like that, especially people that are used to traditional mining. They won't like it. They'll say, well, why are they doing this? We're doing it so we can set up the mines, because the more mines we can set up, the more plants we can set up, the more profits we can provide for our shareholders. It's as simple as that. Okay, so you'll see that our growth period that we are going to go throughout this year, my estimate is that July 2026, not 2027, will be sold out, because April will pay out our first dividends, which will solidify what we've said. April, we're solidifying, here's the dividends to all our shareholders. This is the profits. Aureus will also be making capital. That capital goes and we're pushing it into plants. We're not putting it into our back office, into our back pockets. We're putting it into the plants, because the more plants we have, the more capital is coming in, the more profits is being shared amongst the shareholders. And of course, we are also shareholders. Right, over to you.
All right. So as I said earlier on, we are backed by gold, but it's more than just gold. Um, Aureus Alliance Holdings is not just going to help us earn as shareholders money. They're also going to give back to communities where these minings are working. So they're going to be helping with education. They're going to be helping with job creation, obviously, on those sites. You will obviously get a share certificate, an NFT share certificate. Obviously, we just heard now that there's a lot of rain happening in the area, but we do know that our sites already have some good water supply, but we will obviously try and make it cleaner water. Then we obviously, like I said, working with clean energy as well. So Aureus and Sun will be building eco world smart villages, providing this for those people. Each share supports healthcare, education, and sustainable development. Now, I just want you to understand what that really, really means, because if we can go a few years back to when Zimbabwe actually got into the trouble situation that it got into, where things really got bad there. First of all, here is a piece of land that supposedly has potential to change people's lives, not just there in Kadoma, in Zimbabwe, but worldwide, because we have shareholders from everywhere that can buy into this. So first of all, it's changing our lives. But what do? We are now enabling that community that previously might have been damaged through the years by maybe bad governance or just a lack of, a way to make an income or educate themselves or go to clean clinics or whatever. We're giving back to the community. So we're actually helping Aureus Alliance. As JP said in the beginning, that we were the members that were here in Port Elizabeth that handed over the car was giving awareness. We are helping by being aware. We're making awareness greater in the communities by doing this. And that is going to make a huge impact, because it's going to be on everyone's mouth eventually when they're going to say, this company is helping us out of what we were battling with all these years. And I think this is what I see in this slide. Its a mission is to uplift communities across Africa, as we said, not just in Kadoma, in Zimbabwe, but all over where we can eventually get to, and not just by mining gold, but any other thing that we are into, like property development, the software that JP's into, any of those other developing things that both companies together are working on. So yeah, so that's basically that. All right, so let me just. All right, so JP, sorry, if you can just explain these slides, just tell me when to move to the next one, because
Um,
I don't know everyone and I don't know what happened in those
yeah, yeah,
slides.
yeah. All right, 100%. Okay, so um, the gentleman that's the most in the photo, that's Donovan James, that's the CEO. Okay. Yeah. Paul is pointing him out now. The two Indian gentlemen that is in the core, that's across. Yeah. They are gold experts, so they traveled through to Zimbabwe, with myself, Donovan, and the rest of the team, to go and look at the grass. Right. That's one of the big things. Is because more iron there is in the soil, or iron oxide there is in the soil, the greener the grass will be. And gold bearing land, the more gold there's going to be. It's a very high, there's some details that you can find gold easier. Okay. The piece of rock that he's holding there, that is a piece of silica that is going to go through the crusher plants. And from that, we'll be getting fine traces of gold dust as well as gold nuggets. You see, now in a normal gold mine, they don't care about that. They want to get into the veins. We are even collecting the dust. All right. So because that dust gets melted and it becomes a brick. So the more dust you can get. Um, then the white gentleman, that's the second photo in the top. That is Wayne Williams. He's the owner of Yagden Engineering. And he is going to be contracted to set up our 200-ton per hour plants. Okay. You can see myself there in the corner on the left hand side. No, yeah, there you go. So I went through there. I physically went to Kadoma to go and see if this is real. Just like everybody else here tonight is wondering if this is real. We've done this multiple times. It's not just once. We did it over and over and uh, had community meetings and so forth. The gentleman in the suit and tie, very important. He's part of government. He's the advisor of the president of Zimbabwe, right? So even presidential influences inside of Aureus, which is extremely important because one of the fears of any shareholder is, yeah, but what if the government takes it away? Government won't take it away. Why? Well, we do all the work. That's the first thing. Okay, so we do all of the work. We mining out the land, which is a lot of work. It's going to cost us literal millions of dollars to do it. And then we sell the gold to the government. We sell it to Fidelity refineries, and we sell it at 5% below the market value. Okay. So which means that they don't need to do anything. They're getting the gold at lower value, which they can then sell, and that will boost their own economy. Right. So no, the company is safe, the gold mine is safe, nobody's gonna touch it. Will we allow people to just go to that? No, not yet. That will only happen once we have got our 250 hectares set up. We have got our 20 plants set up. It's a proper mining facility. Then we will allow tours to the mine facility. And the reason being is number one, there's gold. If you pick it up, you can go sell it yourself. The second part is that if you are a VC and you got enough money, you can actually, at this present moment, if you know the location, you could bribe and you could potentially stop our licenses. You won't be able to steal our licenses, but you could stop it, right? And that could cause delays. So we protect our assets, and our asset is the land. Okay. Once we've got our equipment on the land, then it's the asset is the land and the equipment, and it will keep on growing, as you're saying, 257 wash plants over 10 years. Right, next slide. All right, so there you can
So
see
there's that.
topsoil water. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that section that you're looking there, that's now just water. There's no grass at this present moment. We completely flooded there. And yes, it will seep into the soil and things, but that's fine. We're not going to be mining there because that is still an active riverbed, right? We are going into the dry riverbed. We are going into where the alluvial layers is, right? We're going to be digging out about 4 to 5 meters into the soil, and we'll get to what they call the pay dirt level that we're putting through the plant. Okay, so it's also just above the water level. The two photos that looks very dry and arid, that is not part of our mine site. That is just photos that we put in there to show people, that's the difference between some other people's land and our land. And then also, those are artisanal miners. Artisanal miners, I've seen this now personally, what they do. And it's actually frightening. What you see there is a tunnel, and that tunnel is supported by sticks and boards. Okay. What they actually do is they dig down into a pit and then they start digging into a trench. So you can imagine what happens if that thing collapses. That person is gone. Okay. Now these artisanal miners, they are off the gold, right? So we are going to have that problem on our land. We're going to be employing those people. Remember what we said? We are doing job creation. They know how to mine gold, so we are going to be using them. We're going to be helping them, and that's the only reason why they're doing it. They also won't have the fear of selling the gold themselves because you have to have a license to sell the gold, right? So they would have to sell it on the black market. They would get less even there. By us, they will not, right? So the whole point about Aureus is giving back to the community to help the community. Okay, next slide. Right, after that, we went throughout Zimbabwe. We built up public relations. This is highly important because, we're coming into a country. We can't own the land. We have to buy the rights. We have to buy a company. And that's what we are doing. We are buying a company called Viaduct, and we're purchasing all the rights and everything from them. And what's amazing about that, and I think a lot of people haven't realized this, is that that's going to give us the power to purchase additional property. Okay, like for an example, of 550 hectares that is adjacent to us, to our existing 250 hectares, and anything else that is around Zimbabwe. So we could even get our entire 6,000 hectares that we require for 100 tons. We could even get that just in Zimbabwe, because Zimbabwe is absolutely humongous, between Zimbabwe and Zambia, which is basically what was called Rhodesia. All right, next slide. So then afterwards, last year in December, myself and Donovan, you can see there we flying off to Zim. And so we traveled through to Zimbabwe to go and show everybody, this is real. We can actually be on the land. We're allowed to be on the land. We do have the rights. We do have the plant. This is not AI, because unfortunately, AI is getting really scary. I mean, I love artificial intelligence, but what you can do with it is getting ridiculous. Okay. So we did a lot of videos. We did a lot of photos to make sure that we show and present this as a real company. You can see there is our 10-ton per hour plant. There's even a slip of what we paid for it. That bucky that's there in the bottom right corner, that is our Aureus bucky that came all the way from KZN. That's traveled up to Zim. Right, next slide. All right, so there we were testing the machine, and then afterwards, these last 4 photos, that is the groundbreaking. So behind it, you can see that green grass there. That is what we're going to be taking out. Right, so that's the old riverbed. It's been non-running for the last 100 years. So we are going to start there, take out the alluvial and run it through the plant. Where Donovan is greeting this gentleman, he is super excited about this. Why? Because he's the chief of the land. And you think, like, why would he be excited? Because we are bringing prosperity into Kadoma. It takes anything between 5 and 15 kilometers for kids to go to school. He's got a couple, right? Some of his kids is already quite big as well. That is also working for us. So now we've even given employment where that child, he didn't know, this, it's not going to school, not going to university. What's going to happen to him? He's working in the field. Well, now he's working inside of Aureus, right? So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be helping and so forth. Right. Next slide. I think that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
So thanks,
Over to you,
JP, for
Paul.
that. Thanks for that. I will still have to just go through those slides again and try and learn all those names and those details behind all of those happenings. Because when you weren't there, you can't always tell the story like you were there. So it's good to at least hear from our JP, which is one of the people that was there. Like he says, he went there himself. It's not a case of just putting an AI video together and saying, oh, this is what's happening. He literally went there. And I don't know, JP was very quiet now while saying it. Did you see how Gold got a crippled guy to walk? Did you actually see it in that video or in those pictures? He was wearing this funny thing on his foot because his leg was broken or his ankle was sore or something. I don't know. He was moaning about it at the time, but when he got to Zimbabwe, you never heard about the sore foot anymore. So it just shows you how much the excitement can actually get us moving, even when we can't move. So I just want to
Yeah.
say to
Look,
JP, through all of
Paul,
that,
there's nothing that will stop me. My foot is still not fixed. I was at the doctor. It's actually broken, by the way. But I've gone through some therapy, and I'm going to India. There I'm going to walk even more. So, but there's nothing that will stop me pushing Aureus. That's my promise to every single shareholder. Right.
no problem. All right, so basically, there are 1.4 million shares in Aureus, and we are currently in phase 3. And I believe we are trying to sell out 506,958 shares. Some of them carried over, I think, from the previous phases that never sold out. So all of those
Correct.
shares are currently at $20 each. and they will be going up in the next 17 or 16, call it 16 days. So we
15,
have
15. The countdown has started. I don't know if anybody has seen it.
is
They've
it
been
15?
very quiet about it. 15 days and 2 hours.
Okay, sorry, I maybe didn't see that. 15 days and a few hours, as JP said. Let's leave the few hours off. Let's just cut it at 15 because you might just get a delay while you're trying to do it. So let's call it 15 days. So if you want to buy shares at a more discounted rate currently, jump in, put your money down. I don't want to say where your mouth, put your money where your mouth is. I don't want to try and do that, but I'm just telling you guys right now. If, like I said years ago, if I could have bought into De Beers Mining or Anglo Gold or Anglo Plat years ago, we wouldn't have been sitting here having this conversation because I would have been against this company starting because I know it's going to take my people away from me. But any case, right
Very much.
now, I said I've got a second chance. You might have a first chance or a second chance or even a third chance. I don't know how many things you've tried to be part of, but this is definitely a genuine company, as we said in the beginning. So yes, the main sale of shares is 1.4 million shares, and we have 19 phases. Basically, I will touch on the phases now and what they entail, but we started at $5 originally with the opening sale, and then we went to 10, we went to 15, and we're currently on the third phase, which is $20 currently. It's obviously backed by Aureus Alliance Holdings, which is gold mining profits. And then the product obviously is Aureus equity share that offers dividends through real gold being mined, but not just gold. There are other things, but for now we're just calling it, we're basing it on the gold mining.
No,
All
we
right.
just if we have to calculate on every single mineral, we're gonna bore the people, and we it will be speculation. We literally we say our licenses is gold. We starting with gold. What we get out of the ground, we know there's copper, we know there's platinum, we know there's gonna be iron. Whatever we're gonna be getting out, we're gonna be selling. But our figures, every single figure on the website is just based on the gold. So everything else,
Yeah.
that's bonus.
Exactly. And that's what I said just now as well. I said, we don't know what else is going to come out of the ground. This is very conservative figures because obviously the price has gone up to 155,000. It's actually gone up while we're speaking to what 155,859. It's actually gone up while we're speaking. So maybe gold is listening to me as well. It's trying to put its money in our pockets. I don't know. Guys, jump in while you can. The price is rising. The price is rising. Anyway. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide. So yes, just to let you know, how the money that you're putting into the company gets split. All right. Each phase allocates funds clearly towards operations, community development, liquidity, affiliates, and incentives. Nothing is hidden. Every dollar raised has a defined purpose. So if we look at this picture right now, we have 35% of that income goes to Aureus, then 25% goes to Sun, 10% goes to Ubuntu Helping Hands Foundation. Then we all know we are earning from the affiliate commission. I'll explain later how that's broken down, but we're getting 15% there. And then the Gold Diggers competition, also 15% there. So you can basically see there's nothing that's been hidden. The whole money is being used towards something, and the development and the empowerment of the community and us as shareholders. So everyone is benefiting from it. It's like a win, 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 win. I'm not going to carry on. There's so many wins that are happening here. I think the
Correct.
alphabet says 26 letters, but I think we got more than 26 wins in this situation. All right.
I just want to clarify something so everybody understands why we split it like this. A lot of companies they got this budget, that budget, this budget, that budget. Right? What we decided is, in place of doing it like that, myself and Donovan, we are partners. Right? So Aureus is his company, Sun is my company. Both registered here in South Africa, both been running for what time. Okay. So Sun is in charge of anything that is not related to the mining. Okay, which means that 35% that goes to Aureus, that pays for the mining itself. Okay. All the expenses, everything, the setup, everything goes there. Okay, that means that all of the marketing, the websites, all of the other stuff that gets Sun is basically paying that 25% from. Bunte Helping Hands Foundation is an NPO that's registered. That is to start up EcoWorld. Okay. And then the affiliate commission, you know, to sell these shares, we're not a public company, right? We are not on the stock exchange. We never will be on the stock exchange. Okay. So we have got an affiliate system. An affiliate system is 100% legal. The same system as what, for example, Amazon uses, where you got products and those products you can sell it. You as a normal person, right? And then you get a affiliate commission. So that's what that is. And then in place of making our affiliate commission very big, we decided, well, you know what? Why don't we reward the top 10 or even 20 or 50? As we're going to grow, we're going to be increasing it, by the way. That has been decided. But for now, it's still the top 10 best affiliates, right? The people that have worked the hardest to sell the most shares, that we're going to be rewarding them, right? So that we took that 15% and put it into that. Okay, over to you, Paul.
All right. Thank you, JP, for that clarification. All right. So I just want to make sure that I'm in the right place here. All right. So as you can see, we're in phase 3 right now at $20 per share. The total amount of shares that we're trying to sell in this phase is 506,958. And the total possible raised funds that we'll get from that is 10,139,160. Obviously, that will be broken up, as you saw in the previous slide, to wherever it goes. But that being said, that will then enable us to then get more plants set up, reaching more potential earnings for us, and obviously setting up other things that go along with it, in terms of the other things that are happening. So as you can see there, the breakdown, it basically shows you the Aureus will get that amount. The 35% is 3.5 million. I won't read the full total out because I'm like I'm almost like Jacob Zuma. I might just say that number wrong, and I don't want to do that tonight. Then Sun gets 25%. So as JP said, all of the marketing, the website, and everything comes out of that amount. So you can see that's a nice budget, obviously, that JP can then put into producing, the things that we need to be able to share. The shareholders that are promoting the business and want to make this, something that's going to be worthwhile for everyone. They are sharing it with friends, family, whoever they can, getting investors in. There's some people that have great connections and stuff like that. So basically, JP will be using those funds allocated there to helping with that. Then obviously the charity Ubuntu Helping Hands, they get that million there. Basically, like you see there, it's building classrooms, installing boreholes, feeding families, medical kits and stuff like that, just enabling the community where potentially they may not have that right now. As JP even said, there are kids that are walking like 15 kilometers to school. And I mean, if you had a child that had to go through that, I'm sure you would expect someone somewhere along the line also, if they could, to make some sort of, effort to fixing something in your community. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing here. Then obviously, as JP said, the affiliate commission is 15%. 10% you will get paid in USDT, and then you will get 5% of shares that you will see in your office. Partial shares, I believe that may just be. And then the competition, obviously, the 15% will be broken down depending on how much we earn. If the full amount of shares is sold, that's the figure. But we may not sell the full amount of shares. So this first prize might not end up being 378,000 for this phase if we don't sell the full shares. But if we do, and we are lucky, and all of you are listening tonight, I've already given you 3 no-brainer situations. Maybe you want to do this one. Maybe you want to get all the shares sold out by your big buddies that can maybe put money in, and then you'll be getting $378,000 because you were the one that got all of those people in. So there we go. And then you also get a VIP gold tour. JP just said, whoa, hello, this just came to me now. No one knows where this place is yet. Only a few people. But you're going to get a gold tour. I mean, hello, don't you want that? You want to see what you pay, what you share. You have a share in a business that's going to give you 100 years plus earnings. You want to know where it is. Well, there we go. You're going to get a gold tour. So aim for that 40% there at the top. First prize. I'm sure there's a lot of you that are connected. So get it going and let's see if we can get this business on the roll, or digging, should I say. All right, so we got the next few phases will be broken down. Basically, phase 4, there will be 75,000 shares that we're trying to sell at 25%. Then phase 5, 50,000. Phase 6, 50,000 shares. Phase 7 will be 50,000 shares. Phase 8, 50,000 shares. Then you'll see once we get to phase 10, we start jumping at 100, not just by 5 as we were previously. So phase 10 to 11 to 12 to 13, they're all jumping by 100 per phase. Obviously, you'll see there we do have access to this presentation on our back office. So I'm not going to go and read it every phase right now, but you can basically see what has been earmarked basically for that phase that the company is aiming to do. So when you are investing in the company, or people are investing in the company and buying these shares and becoming shareholders, that is what we are enabling the company to give back to the communities and improve. So basically, you can see in the white writing there what is going to happen with what we are enabling the community and the company to do. All right, so yes, we get up to basically eventually phase 19, and as we said, that would have been round about if I can remember, July next year, if I wasn't mistaken. So
Yeah, at the latest. At the
yeah,
latest. It could
by
be
the latest.
it could be a lot it could
Because
be a lot earlier.
yes, I was just about to say that. I do know that JP and Donovan are or have been in conversations with a few people that were very, very interested in making some very generous donations, if I can put it that way, in the way that it was discussed. And we may just find that, someone, or more than someone, some people may just feel that they want to buy more shares than what is in a specific phase. So then our phases will jump a lot quicker. And when that happens, also the cash flow into the business will be a lot quicker, which means we can expand a lot quicker. So for, like JP says, the latest, if we are going as per the what we've said now, it will be the latest July next year. But we may just find that we will jump 2 phases very quickly, and then we all of a sudden 2 months ahead of time. So we will see how we go. So that is just that. So when we sell out all 1,400, 1.4 million, sorry, I keep on saying 1,400, 1.4 million. I have to get used to these big numbers, man. Where I stay, we only get small rands. We don't get these big dollars. But so when we sell out all 1.4 million shares, and that is basically when our, as we said, per the CIPC registration of the company, your share will be minimum $1,000. But we will see you at that stage. I doubt people will sell their shares. I really don't think you will, but that's just what it will be valued at. All right. So
Yeah, so basically, let me just, because people are going to ask this, Paul.
okay,
So once the 1.4 million shares is sold out, right, then everybody that wants to sell their shares, they will be able to do that. So you'll get a lot of shareholders, like for an example, that will buy, like, let's say for an example, 1,000 shares, and they'll get 10 or 20 or 50 extra shares, right? Because there is those tiers. Now those shares they are free, right? You get them for free. Those are your bonus shares. Now, if you decide, well, you know what, I want to sell these 50 shares for $1,000 each, you would be able to do that. And the reason why you would be able to do that is for the simple fact that, let's say, for an example, by July, we've sold it out. There will already be quite a lot of people that want to buy at $1,000 that don't have that opportunity anymore. Why? Because the company has sold its lots. The 1.4 million is sold out. So then only they can buy from the shareholders. And this is going to give everybody that unique opportunity where you can say, you know what, I'm going to take this $1,000 share and I'm going to put it up for $1,200 or $1,500. But you won't be able to sell it for anything less than $1,000. So think about that. Right, over to you, Paul.
All right, I just want to make something clear. As you can see, the dividends explanation on the screen right now. We are not getting dividends from shareholders coming into the business. That money obviously enables a business to expand, but the way we make dividends is from the profits that we get from the mining operations. So we just have to understand that it comes from company profits, not from people coming into the business. We do obviously want people to come into the business because that helps us expand. And the greater and the quicker we expand, the greater the profits, because that means we'll be able to set up more wash plants and more areas where we can get into. For instance, like JP says, there's a potential that we can get all 6,000 hectares in Zimbabwe. But if we find that other countries have mining potential, then we may just even, for all you know, be bigger than 6,000 hectares. So for now, we're just earmarking that. But let's just understand that the dividends are coming from the mining operation profits and any other profits that the company makes, as we heard, because you will be earning dividends from anything else that the company also earns. So when dividends are paid, they are only paid when profit is available. Dividends are linked to production milestones. Until production reaches 50 tons, dividends are paid quarterly, as I said earlier, January, April, July, and October. And we also just have to remind ourselves, it hasn't been put in the slide here. As JP said, whenever you buy a share, it has to be mining, or it has to be in operation for 5 months minimum before a dividend can pay out. So basically that is just something that we need
It
to
is
take
there.
that we just need to take into consideration. So you can't, for instance, go today, buy a share today or however many shares today, and say in April, oh, JP, I didn't get my payment. Everyone else is going out and shopping and happy and buying cars, houses, whatever, and I didn't get anything. Let's just take it into consideration that we have to have it in the company for 5 months, put it into action, get the dividends, and then you'll get paid the 5 months after the 5 months that yours has been in. All right, so from 50 to 80 tons, dividends are paid then twice per year, and that will be in April and October. And then at 100 tons and above, the dividends are paid once per year during April. Okay, shares purchased must work for. Okay, there it is. There, maybe I just didn't see it. I apologize. I was in an accident a while ago, and my eyes don't always work perfectly. But there it is. Thank you, JP. My bad. My bad. I've already touched on the point, so I'm not going to say it again. Example. So if you buy in January, you did not qualify for April. Your first dividend is going to then be in July. Then you continue July, then you'll get in October, then January, and then April again. And when we go to twice a year, it will be, as we said, April and October, and
Yeah,
then
it
obviously in
will
April.
it will continue. It's gonna take us a while to get to that twice per year. Just so everybody
Yeah, yeah.
understands. To get to 50 tons, to get 50 tons per year, um, we're going to have the entire Mutare and Godoma and Moreland up and running. At least, I would say at least about 100 plants that we'll have to have up and running to get to 50 tons, at least.
No, no, I hear you, JP. Thanks for clarifying that, because yes, I mean we don't want to put expectations that it's just going to happen overnight,
Mm-mm.
and then people say,
No,
oh,
no, no,
but
no,
you
no.
said.
This is the 10-year plan. That's why we said by 2035 we want to reach 100 tons a year. Okay, we want
Yeah.
to reach 6,000 hectares. And also remember our model. Okay, what we do is we take out the tailings, we take out the pay dirt, we remove everything. We drill core holes afterwards. We check for any other minerals that's under the ground. Then if there's nothing, then we return it into a natural viable state. So you can imagine what's going to happen. I said that it's going to take what, 5 years to do Kadoma. So if we've done Kadoma 5 years, we've taken out all the tailings, we've run it through the plants. I think it's going to take a bit more than 5 years, but let's say 5 years. Then afterwards, we're going to go to the next area, right? But now we've rehabilitated, we've taken out the gold, which, if you think about it, now that land is protected because nobody will want to come and mess around there. Why are you going to go miss? There's nothing there. We've already done all the prospecting. We've taken out the minerals. What is left there is the rehabilitated land that the people can now use. Okay, because remember, in Zimbabwe, you cannot own the land. You own either mineral rights or agricultural rights. And I actually met someone this week that also, funny enough, another car guard that came to me. I love speaking to car guards. They're amazing people. That what they've experienced in life is unreal. But they saw the branding and they're like, you know what? Let me speak to this man. And they came to speak to me and they said, you know, I've got two mining rights because every 25 hectares you have to have a right, right? You have to have a license. So they got two licenses, it's 50 hectares, in Mashona land. And I said, well, you know what? We can go into a JB partnership with you, right? And that's what we're doing. That's the same thing what we do in Mutare. That's the same thing what we'll do throughout Africa. So we're not going to buy the land. We are getting the rights. Once we're done with the land, we got no use for the rights. Okay. And nobody else will have either. Okay. Then it can be built, it can be developed and so forth. And yes, it will produce profits for all the shareholders once again. Even EcoWorld will produce profits for the shareholders. That's the beautiful thing here. You are buying shares in the company, not in the mine. Okay. You're buying shares in the holding company. Right. Back to you, Paul.
All right. So thank you for that, JP. So yes, how dividends are created, it's basically the gold and other minerals, as we said, will be mined, processed, and sold for revenue. JP said that Fidelity refineries will be buying it. And then because of the license, we are allowed to sell. Then the expenses are paid first, and then basically whatever profit remains is then divided amongst the 1,000. I say it again, 1.4 million shares. Oh, I'm not going to live this down. I keep on saying that thing wrong. 1.4 million shares, and then nothing comes from selling new shares. So basically, as we said, the dividends don't come from selling the new shares, it comes from the profits. So, yes, the new shares will just enable us to make more profits when we eventually get the mines up. If you look at it like that, but it's not going to come from that money. It's going to come from the money made from the mining that those
Correct.
shares will then enable. So just look at it in the right way. Don't get it wrong. So then how do dividends grow? As the company grows, as I said, the more mining wash plants we can put up, more areas that we can go into. And as JP said, that we can go and mine the tailings and the pay dirt and then go and see and wash. Then the bigger the profits mean a bigger dividend pool. And then obviously that means your dividends will be higher. And over time, dividends per share can become higher. All right, so let's move on. Benefits of being a shareholder. All right. So simply by owning shares, you earn lifetime dividends. And I said it earlier on. We already know there's a mine in Zimbabwe that's been paying out or earning for 100 years. I know if you are an adult now, let's just call it an average age. I'm not going to give mine away and I don't want to give JP's away. But if you are even a 20 or 30-year-old, I don't think you're going to see the end of Aureus Alliance Holdings mining that is even starting this
No
year.
one.
You won't see the end of it. I don't want to be nasty and say you're going to die now. I don't want to say that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going to say that I believe that mining site that we are starting this year is going to be around for 100 years plus, which means it may just outlive you and the dividends may outlive you. So you're making generational wealth here, something that you can potentially give over to your family. So it's about that. You don't need to refer anyone. You don't need to sell for those that are maybe scared of that. Basically, your dividends just come from the ownership, not necessarily from recruitment, because yes, we're not selling or giving someone a job here, but we always refer to introducing people as I have to recruit someone. I have to recruit someone. We're not here to offer a job. I'm not an HR person. There's no ways I'm going to say to you, okay, come for an interview. You need to give me $20 and then I'm going to give you a job and then you have to go and sell this. We're not saying that, but there are some people that are comfortable by sharing the opportunity with others. And when you do that, there is the opportunity to make a little bit more and obviously be one of those that win the competition, as we heard just now. Was it $358,000? Yo, I just wish I had connections. All my connections don't want to listen to me. They're like skeletons right now, like Ahmed. They just want to kill me. So, any case, you get lifetime dividends, long-term asset growth, shareholder benefits. Shareholders may receive exclusive opportunities, as we heard. One of them, the VIP Gold Experience. If you are one of those that gets a chance to go and see the site, I'm sure you'd love that. And then obviously, yeah, it's just one of those things. Real equity ownership. Your shares represent actual ownership in Aureus Alliance Holdings and its JP. I don't know if that's a typing. What is that saying there? X.
What is not solving? Expanding. Oh, geez, what is that? Okay, expanding operations.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just thought
basically expanding. We
I
just
thought it was
expand into other
hieroglyphics.
operations.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
I couldn't make out what that was saying. Expanding operations. Sorry, there we go. Sorry, guys. I maybe just pointed out a typo that we can fix. Thank you for that. Control of your shares. You can hold, transfer, or sell your shares, as JP said, but I don't think any of us, when we really see what's going to happen, I don't see anyone selling their shares anytime soon. Once you
But
start earning income,
nobody, yeah, nobody is allowed to sell any shares until 1.4 million shares are
yeah.
sold. Just,
Okay.
I got this question. Quite a couple of people sent me a message this week in the
Okay.
in the support asking, when can I sell my shares? You can sell your shares once the 1.4 million is sold. When is that? At the latest, July 2027. At the latest.
All right. Thank you for that clarity, JP. And then important clarity. You earn dividends because you own shares. You do not need to refer anyone. As I said, you do not need to join the affiliate program. You do not need to participate in sales. Your dividends come from your shares, not your referrals. But like I said, if you are one of those that maybe look at the other side of this where there is extra potential, you can look at that. So we obviously don't, you're not forced to do, as we say, all of this extra stuff, but we are going to touch on how you can make extra money in later slides now. But just remember
Yeah.
that if you are, there's a lot of businesses out there that are basically, you won't make money if you don't introduce people. And that is also, this company is not one of those where,
Yeah.
yes,
No,
obviously
you
invest.
you don't need to. You do not. Let me clarify that.
Okay.
You, as a shareholder, do not need to introduce or sell a single share to earn a dividend. It's as simple as that. Okay. A lot of companies, like Paul is trying to say, is you have to sell X amount of shares before you're going to be. No, none of that. You don't have any costs, fees that you need to pay. There's no membership fee to pay. It's free to join. You're joining the platform. And the platform is just a website. The website gives you the ability to buy the share at the certain levels. That's it. I developed the site, me and my team, right, from Sun. So that's where that starts and it ends. Um, if you do have a friend that wants to buy shares, then give them the link because you earn a commission. It's as simple as that. Don't make it complicated because it's not. Right. Paul, we're not going to do the networking part. We'll do that in the next presentation.
Okay.
Um, so we basically uh this is the end of the presentation.
So I just want to say thank you to everyone tonight. Thank you for bearing with me. My first road show, if I can call it that. Not, I would love to do a road show at some stage, but I'm just saying it as the saying goes. If you are interested in buying into the business, and tonight was your first time seeing this, reach out to the person that brought you here tonight, that invited you here tonight. I'm sure they will give you all the information that you need and they will be able to explain to you how you can get going. We definitely would love to see you as part of the team because, yes, as we said, we are all shareholders here, which means we are all part of this business and we are going to go places. Aureus Alliance is going to move and change lives. Get on, jump on, and enjoy the ride. My fluitjie is nou geblaas.
All right. Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate it. Okay, so Willie the Beer is asking what's the situation around the card. Okay, so we kind of were thrown into the deep water with this India trip. So we are a bit delayed, and also Donovan was very, very sick. He was in hospital. He has been cleared. As you saw him yesterday, he's even gone down to PE. I got him connected to one of my doctors. Um, so yeah, he's ready for the flights. We are going to be sending out the cards. But before the cards will be sent out, the ones that were pre-ordered, right? So everybody had an opportunity to pre-order the cards. Those ones are the first ones. They will be purchased first, so they will be paid, and then afterwards, once they are paid, that card will be sent to you. All right. Now, our logistics for the cards is still a complication. If it's South Africa, it's not a problem because we send it via Postnet or via Paxi or whatever. That's not an issue. But when it comes to international, we still have a bit of an issue because it costs $200 for delivery, right? And this is from DHL, and it's because it's a single card that's being sent. So we are going to be building bases or hubs where we will be sending the cards, and we'll go from that. For an example, we're setting up our first one in India, and we'll be expanding. That's one of the reasons why we're going to go through. And we're going to stop in Dubai as well. So we will open up the purchases for the cards, but I think we're going to open it up for South Africa first, okay? Because I don't think anybody is going to pay $200 now for delivery. If you are fine with that, then you're more than welcome to purchase the card with the delivery. We basically just on the testing of it, and then we can release it. The Yoko, everybody has asked about it. I have tested it and there is an API issue. Okay, unfortunately. I am fixing it. I should have it done by tomorrow morning, hopefully. And then everybody around the world will be able to pay with a card, with a Visa or a MasterCard or a Discover card. That's the three cards that Yoko accepts internationally. Okay. We already tested it out in India as well as it was, I think it was Nigeria as well. We also tested it out. Okay. Right. So Billy, we will open up the website for people to purchase cards. Like I said, it's going to be in South Africa. The cards cost $100 for the card. They are powered by bankers, right? But it's not a banker's card, right? So it doesn't fall under the whole affiliate network thing that they've got. But it is powered by bankers. So everybody understands that. Um, and yeah, Paul, you're getting big thumbs up. If you look in the chat, everybody loves you, loves your energy. And this is one of the reasons why I got Paul into it. I've got only one tip for you, Paul, and you will get to experience this once I am not there. When you can't ask me, you will know, you will speak by yourself. Okay. So try and get the presentation as short and sweet as possible. Okay, but I think we did really, really nice tonight. Everybody loves your energy. I've always loved the energy. It's something that I don't have. My brain is too busy to have that excitement. But other people, when it's like funny, like with you being so excited, it makes me excited, and that's what we want. We want people to be
No, well,
excited about this opportunity. So,
I
big
just want
thumbs up.
I
Well done.
just I did read through the comments because I could only do it now when you were talking a little bit there. I couldn't do it while I was presenting. I do appreciate everyone giving me the confidence. I love the fact that you guys say I have the energy because that is the type of person I am. I don't like negative things in life and I don't like situations to get to me. It just when JP showed me this business, it got me excited again because I was, like JP said, for many years feeling like, everything is just taking money from us and we are not getting anywhere in life. Every time someone promises the next best thing, the next best thing, the next best, it just never is the next best
Mm.
thing. But I honestly believe right now, I don't want to make the assumption this is the next best thing. But like I said, there's a few no-brainer moments that I got just looking through this presentation myself. And I hope you felt that tonight. As I said, that the what you can potentially make from this business is far more than I think a lot of us are even imagining right now. You
Yeah.
may just hear the presentation and not figure out for yourself, but you're going to start seeing when your dividends start hitting your account or wherever it's going to be paid to. I think then you're only going to start saying, Ish, I should have or I could have, but I never did then. Then you're going to start jumping on even more. So, like I said, if you have the chance right now, do it while you can. Don't miss out.
Well, if we just do the calculation, all right, I already said there's the $60. That is worked out as 1.2 tons a year. Okay. Now to give you, Paul spoke about the mine that has been running for 100 years. That is Shamba Gold. Shamba does a minimum of 400 kilograms a month. Okay. So they're really pushing it. So that's 4.8 tons of gold that just Shamba alone does per year. Okay. So well done for them. Right. We will get there. Okay. But let's say for whatever argument's sake, because we're not doing open pit, we are doing non-traditional open cast. Okay. It's not traditional because traditional will just go deep and deeper. So non-traditional open cost. Now let's say we can only do a dividend of $60 per year for the next 10 years. That's $600. Okay, for the South Africans here, that's 9,900 Rand. Now if you take it, how much are you paying for a share? Share is costing what? 370 Rand right now? $20. Okay. So do the math on that. And it's not going to stop in 10 years. It's going to continue. It's going to carry on. Now, here's the other math. If we, or when we, as Paul said, achieve our goal of 100 tons per year, okay, and we can only do that with the land, okay, as we are growing. That's the only way it can be done. Can it be done with one mine? It's not possible. But with 100 tons per year, you're looking at $5,000 currently, okay, a dividend. It's actually more. It was 5.5. Let's work that quickly out, and that will be the end of the presentation. So we take 100,000 kilograms times $155,000, and now I saw Neil is here, our CIO. He would say, really, once again, even though we are at 155, it's conservative because gold's value, if it's grown the way that it's grown, there's a high probability because of what's happening in the world. If you follow the world market, the world wants gold-backed currencies. They want gold-backed currencies the way it originally was. That is why the gold is increasing. Okay, that's why people are collecting gold. So the gold will keep on going up. All right. So, but let's keep it at $155,000. That's $15.5 billion. There's a 45% deduction always. This 45% deduction is for all expenses, running costs, taxes, all of that. That leaves us with $8.5 billion divided by 1.4 million shares, and it gives a dividend of $6,089. $6,089 in 10 years. Right. And like I said, it's going to carry on. This is a share where you're going to hold on to it and you're going to pass it on to your kids, to their kids, your grandkids. It's just going to keep on going. As the company is growing, as the shares is going to grow, the value of the shares is going to go. You're going to sell some of them. Everybody is. I had Bitcoin. I had 80 Bitcoin. I sold my Bitcoin. I sold it. I built it into businesses. I don't have it anymore. Okay. So logically, you are going to, when you see, I bought this at $5. If I take this $5 and I sell it at $1,000, I'm making $995 profit. You're going to do it, right? But then later on, you're going to be like, oh man, I should have kept it because I'm still earning. I'm still earning on my other shares, right? You kick yourself afterwards. And that's exactly how it happens. We built this business based on that concept. If you think about what Bitcoin was 10 years ago, where even the big boys, I'm not mentioning any names, but the biggest companies in the world that today back the biggest hedge funds in Bitcoin said that Bitcoin is a bubble. It's going to pop. They're backing the biggest hedge funds in the world now. Okay. Because Bitcoin had to get to that level. And it's exactly the same thing as what's going to happen with Aureus. The same thing that happened to Tesla. It's the same thing that happened to Amazon. It's the same thing that happened to Facebook, right? So you are in the start of a company and you are very fortunate to be here. And that is my goal and Donovan's goal since 2019 when I met him. When I met Donovan, he said to me, I want the world to be connected into my mind. And I was like, I can work with this man, because his heart is what my heart is. Right. So before I get very emotional, um, for everybody that understands what $6,000, if we times it by 16.5, that's 100,000
Sorry,
Rand
JP,
in 10 years.
are you sharing your screen? Because I'm not seeing it on the screen. So I don't
No,
know
no,
if
no,
you are
no, no. I'm
expecting people
just no, 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 no.
give it
I'm
a verbal.
speaking.
A verbal.
They can do the math themselves. It's simple.
Okay, okay.
The amount of gold times the gold per kilogram rate, not the gold per ounce, gold per kg rate. Okay, minus
Mm-hmm.
45% deduction divided by
JP,
1.4 million shares.
JP, in your
That is
last
the
Zoom
dividend.
meeting, you actually did a slight change to that calculation. You said you're taking 5% off for selling
Oh
it to
yeah, I took the
Fidelity.
5% off. Yeah, yeah, I took the 5% off. Take the 5% off afterwards. Yeah. All right. Before you
Okay.
divide it between the 1.4. That is actually the right way of doing it. But that's also why we're saying conservatively. And if you think about conservatively, when we started this in July, where gold was sitting at $100,000, right? When I started in 2023 with Donovan, when we went through to Zim, gold was sitting at $75,000 per kilogram. Now we're sitting at
Doubled,
$155,000
doubled.
per
It's
kilogram.
doubled.
It's scary, but it's really exciting. Right. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody that's joined. This is gonna be the last Zoom presentation for myself. Okay, the normal one. Paul is taking over. So, Paul, Friday nights, we on no, we on Wednesday tonight. Yes. In 2 nights, it's all about you, boy. Right, because on Saturday I am flying off to India, and that also for all my Sun community, that is a promise that has been waiting for what's it now, 4 years. We're going to make India vibrate, and we got great numbers that is coming from India. I'm really, really impressed with my India team there. Well done to all the Sun community. Um, we got big expectations. And for our South African affiliates that is helping every single person that is helping us to sell these shares. Remember, you are selling these shares so that we have the capital to set up the mines. All right. And then that's going to be producing the dividends. So we might not be able, because of rains and because of weather, be able to hit our target for April, but we are confident that that's going to give us the water that we need, a topsoil. We won't need to draw any water, any balls even, to push our 200-ton plants to get our 30 plants done, live, ready, working for 2027. Okay. We very confident still on our 1.2 tons for the year, right? That is our target. That's what we want to
Six,
achieve for 2026. Yes.
20, sorry.
Yeah. For this year. For
Sorry,
this year.
you
2026.
said 2027. So Yeah, 2026.
Yeah, 2020, yeah, 2027. Remember 2027, we're not gonna grow Kadoma. We've done growing Kadoma. We've got our plants up and running. Okay. So
Mm.
2026 is our growth. This is where we're setting up our plants. 2027, we're in full
Yeah.
production, and that's where we're gonna hit our 3.5 tons. Right. Yeah, we will be sharing the presentation. Thank you for everybody that's joined. Thank you, Paul. Good luck, buddy. And we will be speaking live to everybody in India. God bless. Have an amazing night. Cheerio. Bye bye.